The void between stars held secrets older than humanity itself. Dr. Maya Rodriguez knew this truth better than most, but even she wasn't prepared for what awaited them in the shadows of Kepler, 186f's smallest moon. The research vessel Horizon hung in space like a silver needle against black velvet, its sensors probing the depths of an ancient crater that shouldn't have existed. "These readings can't be right," Lieutenant James Cooper muttered, his dark fingers dancing across the holographic display. "The energy signature is like nothing in our database. It's alive, somehow." Maya leaned forward, her weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of the ship's instruments. 20 years of xenoarchaeology had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now, every fiber of her being screamed that they were on the verge of something extraordinary. "Take us closer, Cooper. Whatever's down there, it's been waiting for a long time." The Horizon descended through the thin atmosphere of the moon, its landing lights cutting through the eternal darkness. The crater walls rose around them like the ribcage of some ancient beast, and at its center, a structure that defied explanation, a perfect sphere of obsidian-like material, half buried in the regolith, untouched by the erosion that had weathered everything else around it. Dr. Rodriguez, the ship's AI, chimed in, its voice carrying an unusual note of hesitation. "I'm detecting quantum-level fluctuations from the object. The pattern suggests deliberate design." Maya checked her environmental suit one final time as she prepared to lead the expedition team. Besides Cooper, she had brought Dr. Raj Patel, their quantum physicist, and Captain Maria Santos, whose military experience had saved their lives more than once on these frontier expeditions. As they approached the sphere, their boots leaving perfect prints in the moon dust, Maya felt a sensation she'd never experienced before, a sort of humming in her bones, as if the very atoms of her body were resonating with something ancient and powerful. "It's a stasis chamber," Raj announced suddenly, his instruments whirring. "But the technology, it's centuries beyond anything we've ever seen. The quantum field manipulation alone would require energy levels we can barely theorize about." Maria raised her pulse rifle slightly, ever cautious. "Is it safe to approach?" Before Maya could answer, the surface of the sphere began to change. What had appeared solid now flowed like liquid metal, forming patterns that seemed to respond to their presence. Symbols appeared, not in any language Maya had ever studied, but somehow she understood their meaning with perfect clarity. "Guardian," she whispered. "It says. Guardian of the last light." The sphere split open like a flower blooming in fast motion, revealing a chamber bathed in soft, golden light. Within, suspended in a field of energy that defied physics as they knew it, floated a being that took their breath away. She, for the being was unmistakably feminine in form, appeared both humanoid and utterly alien. Her skin shimmered with patterns that seemed to reflect the very stars above them, and her features held a symmetry that spoke of deliberate genetic engineering. But it was her presence, even in suspended animation, that commanded attention. This was no ordinary alien they had discovered, this was someone of immense importance. "Her life signs are stable," Raj reported, his voice filled with wonder. "The stasis field is beginning to dissipate. I think she's waking up." The being's eyes opened, revealing irises that contained what looked like swirling galaxies. She arose from her suspended state with impossible grace, and when she spoke, her words bypassed their ears entirely and materialized directly in their minds. "I am Sentinel Kyra, guardian of the seventh seal, and you have awakened me from my vigil." Her mental voice carried both authority and curiosity. "Your species, humans. You have progressed far since my time of sleeping." Maya stepped forward, her scientific training warring with her instinct to kneel before this clearly advanced being. "I am Dr. Maya Rodriguez. We found your stasis chamber while exploring this system. How long have you been here?" Kyra's expression shifted to something unreadable. "By your measurements, approximately 12,000 of your Earth years. I was placed here to wait until a civilization worthy of our legacy emerged, or until they were needed to face what we could not defeat." "What you could not defeat?" Maria's grip tightened on her weapon. "The Void Hunters," Kyra replied, her mental voice growing darker. "They sleep still, but not for much longer. Your activities in this sector of space, the ripples of your quantum experiments, they begin to stir." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "What are the Void Hunters?" Kyra raised her hand, and suddenly the space around them transformed into a three-dimensional projection of the galaxy. Red points of light began to appear, spreading like a cancer through the spiral arms. "They are what ended my civilization, despite all our power. We could not defeat them, only seal them away. And now." She turned her galaxy-filled eyes to Maya. "Now they will come for yours, unless you are prepared. This is why I waited. This is why I will teach you what my people knew." "Teach us?" Raj asked, his scientific curiosity overwhelming his caution. "Yes." Kyra's form seemed to shimmer with internal light. "But first, you must understand what you face. What all life faces. And why your species, despite its youth, may be the key to finally ending a war that has raged since the first stars died." Maya looked at her team, seeing her own mix of fear and excitement reflected in their faces. They had come seeking knowledge of the past but had found something far more significant, a guardian of ancient powers and a warning of things to come. "We're ready to learn," Maya said, speaking for all of humanity in that moment. Kyra nodded, and the stars in her eyes seemed to burn brighter. "Then let us begin. For time grows short, and the hunters stir in their sleep. Humanity must be ready for what comes next." The ancient guardian raised her hands, and the very fabric of reality around them began to shift, preparing to share knowledge that would forever change the course of human history. The real question was, would it be enough to save them from what lurked in the darkness between the stars? The Horizons laboratory had never been designed to contain the kind of power now flowing through it. Streams of quantum energy danced across the ceiling like aurora borealis, while Sentinel Kyra stood at the center, her form radiating an otherworldly glow. 2 weeks had passed since her awakening, and everything humanity thought they knew about physics was being rewritten. "The energy you call quantum entanglement," Kyra explained, her mental voice resonating through the minds of the assembled team, "is merely the surface of a deeper reality. Your scientists glimpse it like shadows on a wall, but my people learn to weave these threads into the fabric of creation itself." Dr. Raj Patel sat cross-legged on the floor, his tablet long forgotten as he watched Kyra manipulate strands of pure energy between her fingers. The dark circles under his eyes spoke of sleepless nights spent trying to reconcile what he was seeing with everything he'd ever learned about quantum mechanics. "But how do you maintain quantum coherence at this scale?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "It should be impossible." A smile played across Kyra's stellar features. "Impossible is a word born of limited understanding." She gestured, and the energy strands coalesced into a sphere of swirling light. "Your bodies, your minds, they already contain the capacity for this manipulation. You simply never learn to access it." Maya Rodriguez watched from the doorway, her own mind struggling to process the implications. Over the past 2 weeks, she'd observed as Kyra began teaching them the fundamentals of her people's science. But something in the ancient guardian's manner suggested they were running out of time. "You're accelerating our training," Maya said, stepping forward. "What aren't you telling us?" The light sphere dissipated as Kyra turned to face her. For a moment, the galaxies in her eyes seemed to darken. "I can sense them stirring. The Void Hunters, their dormancy is ending faster than I anticipated. Your species' rapid technological advancement has created ripples in the quantum fabric, ripples they can feel." Lieutenant Cooper, who had been monitoring their sessions from the security station, straightened. "How long do we have?" "Months, perhaps. No more than a year." Kyra's form flickered momentarily, like a candle in a wind that nobody else could feel. "Which is why I must do something dangerous. Something that could either save your species or destroy those I choose to trust with this power." Captain Santos stepped forward, her military training evident in her stance. What kind of power are we talking about? Instead of answering immediately, Kyra raised her hand toward the ceiling. The ship's lights dimmed, and in the darkness, her body began to emit patterns of light that seemed to extend into dimensions the human eye was never meant to see. My people called it the Starfire Protocol, she said, her mental voice taking on a resonance that made everyone's teeth ache. It is a quantum-level transformation of neural pathways and cellular structure. It allows the recipient to perceive and manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. But the process is irreversible, and not all minds can survive the awakening. Maya felt her heart rate increase. You want to perform this process on us? On those I deem capable, yes. Kyra's gaze swept the room. I have been testing you all, measuring your potential. Some of you possess the necessary neural plasticity and quantum resonance patterns. You, Maya. Raj. Maria. James. Your minds could accept the gift. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. What Kyra was offering wasn't just knowledge, it was evolution, forced into the span of moments rather than millennia. Raj was the first to step forward. If it helps us protect Earth, I volunteer. The hell with protocol, Maria added, moving to stand beside him. I'm in. Cooper nodded silently, his decision made, while Maya found herself stepping forward almost without conscious thought. The scientist in her screamed about unknown risks and proper procedures, but a deeper part of her understood, this was why she had spent her life searching the stars. This was the moment everything had been leading toward. Before you decide finally, Kyra said, her form growing brighter, know this, the power I offer comes with a price. You will see reality as it truly is, in all its beauty and horror. You will know what lurks between the stars, what hungers in the void. And once awakened, you can never return to the simplicity of your current existence. Will it be enough? Maya asked. Enough to stop these void hunters? Kyra's expression softened slightly. That depends on you. My people, for all their power, failed because they lacked something I see in abundance in humans, adaptability. Creativity. The ability to look at the impossible and find a way through. She raised her hands, and the air itself seemed to crystallize around them. The process will take 6 hours. It will be painful beyond anything you have experienced. But if you survive, you will be the first of a new kind of human. The guardians your species needs for what comes next. And what comes next? Cooper asked quietly. War, Kyra replied, the galaxies in her eyes spinning faster. A war for the very existence of life in this galaxy. The Void Hunters do not seek conquest or resources. They seek only to end, to reduce all complexity to eternal silence. They are the antithesis of life itself. Maya looked at her teammates, seeing in their eyes the same mix of fear and determination she felt. They had come seeking knowledge among the stars and found instead a battle for existence itself. But wasn't this what humanity had always done? Faced the impossible and found a way forward. Begin the process, Maya said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Make us ready. Kyra nodded solemnly, and the air around them began to sing with power. As the transformation began, Maya caught a glimpse of something in the ancient guardian's eyes, hope, perhaps. Or maybe something more, the first glimmer of belief that this time, against all odds, the darkness might finally be pushed back. The light grew blinding, and Maya felt the first touch of fire in her veins. The next 6 hours would remake them, but the real test would come after. For somewhere in the darkness between the stars, ancient horrors were stirring, and Earth's first line of defense would be 4 humans touched by powers they barely understood, guided by a guardian who had waited 12,000 years for this moment. The coming storm. Deep in the void between Mars and Jupiter, reality itself tore open. The breach started as a pinprick of absolute darkness against the star-studded backdrop of space, but it quickly expanded into a wound in the universe itself. From within that darkness, something emerged, a shape that denied description, its form shifting between states of matter like a fever dream. On the bridge of the newly commissioned defense vessel Aegis, Maya Rodriguez watched the sensor readings with eyes that now saw far more than visible light. The transformation she and her teammates had undergone had changed them in ways they were still discovering. The quantum energy that now flowed through their bodies allowed them to perceive reality on levels that would have driven their former selves mad. "First contact," she whispered, knowing what they were seeing was merely a scout for what would follow. "They're really here." Beside her, James Cooper manipulated the ship's quantum shields, technology reverse-engineered from Kyra's knowledge and built in a frantic 3-month period. His dark skin now bore intricate patterns that glowed with internal light, a visible sign of the power that coursed through him. "Energy signature is unlike anything we've ever encountered," he reported, his enhanced consciousness interfacing directly with the ship's systems. It's like looking at a hole in existence itself." Kyra stood at the center of the bridge, her form seeming to shift between dimensions as she focused on the intruder. "A Void Hunter scout," she confirmed, her mental voice carrying notes of both recognition and ancient hatred. "It searches for signs of advanced life. Your world's quantum experiments drew its attention." The creature moved with impossible speed, its form distorting space around it. But the humans watching it were no longer limited by ordinary perception. Through their enhanced senses, they could track its movement through multiple dimensions simultaneously. "All Earth defense stations are on high alert," Maria Santos reported from her tactical station, her transformed consciousness spreading through the global defense network they'd helped create. "But most of our weapons will be useless against something like this." Raj Patel, whose genius had helped adapt Kyra's knowledge into workable technology, looked up from his station. The equations floating around him in holographic display showed patterns that would have been meaningless 3 months ago but now revealed the very structure of spacetime. "The quantum resonance cannons are charged," he said, his voice carrying the weight of countless sleepless nights spent building humanity's new defenses. "But we'll only get one shot before it realizes we're more advanced than it expected." Maya felt Kyra's presence touch her mind, sharing memories of ancient battles and fallen worlds. The Void Hunters had destroyed countless civilizations, reducing them to cosmic dust. But they had never encountered a species that had been uplifted and prepared specifically to fight them. "We must strike first," Kyra announced, her form blazing with internal light. "Show them that Earth is not defenseless. Maya, James, combine your powers with mine. Raj, prepare the quantum cannon. Maria, alert all defense stations to be ready for retaliation." The 4 transformed humans moved with perfect coordination, their enhanced minds working in concert. Maya felt the power building within her, the ability to manipulate quantum fields that Kyra had awakened. Cooper's consciousness merged with hers, their combined power flowing into the ship's systems. The Void Hunter suddenly turned toward them, perhaps sensing the energy they were gathering. Its form shifted into something that hurt to look at, a geometry that shouldn't exist in 3-dimensional space. It began to move toward them, reality warping around it like cloth being torn. "Now!" Kyra commanded, and Maya felt the ancient guardian's power join with theirs. The quantum cannon fired, its beam carrying not just energy but coordinated patterns of spacetime manipulation. The combined power of ancient knowledge and human innovation struck the Void Hunter directly. For a moment, the creature's form became clear, a thing of angles and emptiness, a negation of existence itself. Then it shattered, its impossible form breaking apart into quantum particles that quickly dissipated into the void. But as it died, it released a pulse of energy that carried a clear message into the darkness of space. "It called to the others," Kyra said grimly. "We destroyed it, but now they know. They know that Earth has powers it shouldn't have. That humans have been given knowledge that was supposed to be lost." Maya watched the last traces of the Void Hunter fade away, her enhanced senses detecting ripples in spacetime spreading outward like waves from a stone dropped in a pond. "How long do we have?" "Days, perhaps weeks," Kyra replied. They will come in force now. What we faced was merely a scout. The next wave will be an invasion fleet. Then we'll be ready, Cooper said, his determination evident in both his voice and the brightening patterns across his skin. We've spent every moment preparing for this. Maria's consciousness expanded through Earth's defense network, checking the status of the quantum weapons they'd helped distribute around the planet. Global defense grid is at 97% capacity. The lunar bases are fully operational. Mars colony reports all systems ready. It won't be enough, Kyra warned, her form flickering between dimensions. What comes next will test not just your new powers, but your humanity itself. The Void Hunters don't just attack bodies and ships, they attack minds, reality, the very fabric of existence. Raj looked up from his calculations, his eyes glowing with quantum fire. Then we'll have to be creative. You said it yourself, Kyra, humanity's greatest strength is its ability to adapt, to find solutions where none seemed possible. Maya moved to the center of the bridge, her transformed consciousness spreading out to touch the minds of her teammates. In the 3 months since their transformation, they had become something more than human but had retained their essential humanity. Perhaps that combination was exactly what was needed. Send word to all defense stations, she ordered, her voice carrying the authority of both science and newfound power. Tell them what we faced here today. Tell them what's coming. But most importantly, tell them we won this first battle. Tell them humanity is ready to stand against the darkness. As the message went out, Maya looked through the quantum sensors at the vast darkness of space. Somewhere out there, an ancient enemy was gathering its forces. The real war was about to begin, and Earth's fate would rest not just on the powers they'd been given, but on the uniquely human spirit that had made them worthy of those powers in the first place. Trial by fire. They came from the dark spaces between stars, a fleet of impossibilities that twisted the fabric of reality around them. The Void Hunters' main assault force emerged simultaneously at 12 points around the solar system, their ships, if they could be called ships, moving with a geometric precision that defied natural law. Each vessel was a contradiction-given form, a shape that existed in more dimensions than human eyes were meant to perceive. From her position in Earth's orbital defense station Alpha, Maya watched through enhanced senses as reality buckled under the invaders' approach. The quantum energy flowing through her transformed body let her see the truth of what they faced, beings that weren't just alien, but antithetical to existence itself. Multiple breaches detected in the Kuiper belt, Cooper reported, his consciousness spread through the defense grid. They're testing our perimeter defenses. Kyra's form shimmered beside them, her presence both reassuring and terrible. They seek to understand how much we have prepared. The real attack will come. Now. Maria's voice cut through their minds as new alerts flared across the quantum sensors. A massive void ship had suddenly appeared between Earth and Luna, bypassing their outer defenses entirely. All stations, execute Protocol Omega, Maya commanded, her enhanced mind connecting with defense platforms across the solar system. This is not a drill. The response was immediate. Humanity had spent months preparing for this moment, guided by Kyra's knowledge and driven by the certainty of what was coming. Quantum cannons powered up across Earth's surface and from orbital platforms. The lunar defense bases activated, their weapons locked onto the impossible geometries of the void ships. The enemy struck first. A beam of pure negation lanced out from the largest void ship, aimed at Earth's southern hemisphere. But it met something the Void Hunters hadn't expected, a quantum shield array, powered by the combined consciousness of transformed humans working in concert with conventional defense forces. Shield holding at 83%, Raj reported, his mind deep in the calculations that kept their defenses stable. The attack pattern, it's trying to find resonance frequencies that would collapse our quantum fields. Maya felt Kyra's ancient knowledge surge through their shared mental link. They're adapting faster than expected. We need to strike back now, while they're still analyzing our capabilities. All batteries, fire. Maria's order rang through the defense network. Earth's combined firepower erupted in a coordinated assault that lit up space with quantum energy. The void ships twisted and distorted, some of their outer layers shattering under the impact. But the enemy's response was devastating. Reality itself seemed to crack as the void ships released weapons that attacked not just matter, but the underlying structure of spacetime. Defense platforms began to disappear, not destroyed but effectively erased from existence. "We're losing the orbital grid," Cooper warned, his consciousness recoiling from the quantum feedback. "They're not just destroying our defenses, they're removing the very space they occupied." Maya felt the pressure of countless minds depending on their leadership, both the transformed defenders and the conventional forces fighting alongside them. They had prepared for this, but the reality of facing an enemy that could deny existence itself was testing the limits of even their enhanced capabilities. "Kyra," Maya called out, an idea forming in her transformed consciousness. "You said humanity's strength was its adaptability. What if we stopped trying to match their power and started fighting like humans?" The ancient guardian's eyes flashed with interest. "What do you propose?" "Raj, remember that quantum fluctuation we discovered during testing? The one that seemed like a flaw in the defense grid?" Understanding bloomed across Raj's features, the patterns on his skin brightening. "The randomness factor. Instead of trying to maintain stable quantum fields, we introduce controlled chaos," Maya finished. "Cooper, Maria, can you reconfigure the defense grid to operate on varying quantum frequencies? Not just random, but unpredictable even to beings that can see in multiple dimensions." "It's possible," Cooper confirmed, his mind already working through the calculations. "But we'd have to coordinate it through the entire network simultaneously. And our transformed defenders would need to adapt instantly to the changing frequencies," Maria added. "One mistake could collapse the entire system." Kyra moved forward, her form becoming more solid as she focused on their plan. This is exactly why I chose to trust humans. My people would never have considered such an apparently illogical approach. But against an enemy that operates on pure mathematical precision. Sometimes the best defense is controlled chaos, Maya said. Humanity's greatest strength isn't just our adaptability, it's our willingness to embrace uncertainty. The void ships were pressing their attack, reality warping around them as they pushed against Earth's defenses. Time was running out. "All transformed defenders, prepare for quantum frequency shift," Maya broadcast through their shared consciousness. "Conventional forces, stand by for new coordination protocols. We're about to change the rules of this fight." What followed was unlike anything in human military history. The transformed defenders, working in perfect synchronization with conventional forces, began shifting their quantum defenses in patterns that appeared random but followed a deeper human intuition. The void ships' attacks, designed to counter logical defense patterns, began missing their targets. "It's working." Cooper's excitement rippled through the network. "Their weapons can't lock onto our quantum fields. The random shifts are forcing them to recalculate with each attack." Maya felt the tide of battle shifting, but she also sensed the enemy's growing confusion turning to something else, rage, perhaps, or whatever passed for emotion in beings of pure void. The attacks intensified, becoming more erratic, less precisely coordinated. "Now we press the advantage," Kyra commanded, her ancient power flowing into Earth's defense network. "Show them why humanity was worth waiting 12,000 years for." The combined forces of Earth launched a counterattack, their weapons guided by both transformed consciousness and human instinct. Void ships began to fall, their impossible geometries shattering under attacks they couldn't predict or counter. But victory would come at a cost. As the battle reached its peak, Maya felt the strain on their transformed defenders. Maintaining such complex quantum manipulations while coordinating with conventional forces was pushing them to their limits and beyond. "We can't maintain this level of chaos control much longer," Raj warned, his patterns flickering with fatigue. "Our people are burning out." Maya looked at Earth below them, blue and beautiful and worth any sacrifice. We don't need to maintain it much longer. We just need to hold on long enough to show them that humanity isn't prey, we're a force they've never encountered before. The Void ships were retreating now, their perfect formations broken, their attacks becoming desperate and uncoordinated. But Maya knew this wasn't the end. It was merely the first real battle in a war that would define humanity's place in the universe. As the enemy fled into the darkness between stars, Kyra's voice echoed through their shared consciousness, "You have proven yourselves worthy of the power you were given. But this victory, impressive as it is only the beginning. The Void Hunters will return, and next time, they will be ready for humanity's chaos." Maya watched the last traces of the Void ships disappear, her enhanced senses detecting the quantum ripples of their passage. "Then we'll have something new waiting for them," she said. "Because that's what humans do, we adapt, we innovate, and we never stop evolving." The transformed defenders began the process of stabilizing Earth's defense grid, their powers forever changed by the experience of facing an enemy that defied reality itself. They had won this battle not through superior power or advanced technology alone, but through the uniquely human ability to embrace chaos and find strength in uncertainty. The trial by fire had forged them into something new, not just transformed humans, but pioneers of a new way of fighting, of thinking, of existing. And somewhere in the darkness, their enemy was learning a lesson 12,000 years in the making: humanity would not go quietly into the void. Legacy of the stars. The quantum sensors detected them first, a darkness deeper than space itself, moving toward Earth with terrible purpose. 3 months had passed since humanity's first major victory against the Void Hunters, and in that time, both sides had evolved. The enemy had learned from their defeat, their Void ships now shifting through dimensional frequencies in patterns that mimicked humanity's creative chaos. But humanity had not been idle. Maya stood in the newly constructed Quantum Command Center beneath the Himalayan mountains, her transformed consciousness extending through networks that spanned the solar system. The patterns on her skin pulsed with power as she monitored the approaching fleet. "They've adapted to our previous tactics," she announced to the assembled command staff, both transformed and conventional. "Just as we expected." Kyra materialized beside her, the ancient guardians form more solid than ever before. In the months since the first battle, the bond between her and her chosen humans had grown stronger, their shared power reaching levels that would have seemed impossible even to her own people. "They come with their full strength this time," Kyra observed, the galaxies in her eyes spinning faster. "No more scouts, no more testing. They mean to end this." Cooper's consciousness merged with the defense grid, his enhanced senses probing the Void ship's approach. "Their formation is unlike anything we've seen before. They're using our own chaos patterns against us, but with a precision we couldn't match." "That's because they're missing the point," Raj interjected, looking up from the quantum calculations that surrounded him like a constellation of mathematical truth. "They can copy our methods, but they don't understand the human element that makes them work." Maria, who had been coordinating with defense forces worldwide, turned from her station. "All transformed defenders are in position. Conventional forces stand ready. Operation Starbridge is prepared to initiate on your command." Maya felt the weight of the moment settle around them. Everything they had planned, everything they had built since their transformation, had led to this moment. Earth's fate would be decided not just by power or technology, but by the fusion of human spirit with forces beyond normal comprehension. "Begin the sequence," Maya ordered, her voice carrying through both conventional channels and the quantum link that connected all transformed defenders. Across the solar system, humanity's combined forces moved into position. But this was no conventional military formation. Instead, transformed defenders and conventional forces arranged themselves in patterns that seemed random to normal perception but followed a deeper logic, one born from the marriage of human intuition and quantum understanding. The Void ships entered the solar system like a wave of unreality, their impossible geometries distorting space itself. Their weapons fired, attacks that would have erased whole planets from existence 3 months ago. But this time, humanity was ready with something new. Activate the star bridge. Maya commanded. In that moment, every transformed defender across the solar system acted in concert, their enhanced minds linking together in a way that even Kyra had never thought possible. The quantum energy that flowed through them reached out, not to attack or defend, but to connect. Reality itself seemed to shift as thousands of quantum bridges formed between defenders, creating a web of pure energy that encompassed the entire solar system. Through these bridges flowed not just power, but human consciousness itself, memories, emotions, dreams, and determination. The void ships faltered as they encountered this web, their precise calculations disrupted by something they couldn't comprehend, the raw, chaotic beauty of human experience. Now we show them what humanity truly is, Kyra declared, her form blazing with light as she joined her power with the network. Not just chaos, not just order, but the bridge between all states of existence. The transformed defenders began to share not just their power but their very essence through the quantum web. Memories of Earth's oceans and mountains, of love and loss, of triumph and failure, all of it flowed through the network, creating a tapestry of human experience that rippled through spacetime itself. The Void Hunters, beings of pure mathematical precision, encountered something they had never faced in all their eons of existence, a species that could turn its own contradictions into strength, its chaos into harmony, its individual experiences into a collective force that defied their fundamental nature. "They're trying to adapt," Cooper reported, his consciousness spread through the defense grid. "But they can't match this. They can't comprehend what we're doing because it's not just about power or patterns, it's about what makes us human." The void ships began to break formation, their perfect geometries distorting as they encountered wave after wave of human experience and emotion. Some tried to retreat, while others pressed their attack with increasing desperation. But each attack was met not just with defensive power, but with the full weight of human consciousness. "This is what my people never understood," Kyra's voice echoed through the quantum web. "We sought to fight the void with pure order, pure power. But humanity knows that true strength lies in the balance between order and chaos, between individual and collective, between power and purpose." Maya felt the tide of battle turning as the quantum web strengthened, powered by the combined will of every defender, every soldier, every human being who stood against the darkness. The void ships that pressed their attack found themselves not just defeated but transformed, their very nature altered by contact with the human quantum web. Those that tried to flee encountered something else, a fundamental change in the fabric of space itself, altered by the massive quantum manipulation humanity had achieved. The very darkness they had used as a weapon had been reshaped by human consciousness into something they could no longer control. "They're not just retreating," Raj observed, his enhanced senses tracking the enemy's dissolution. "They're being fundamentally altered by contact with our network. We're not just defeating them, we're changing the rules that allow them to exist." As the last void ships vanished, not into darkness this time, but into transformation, Maya felt Kyra's ancient knowledge merge with her own understanding. The Guardian's people had fought the Void Hunters for millennia, never realizing that the key to victory wasn't in matching their power, but in transforming the very nature of existence they sought to destroy. "It's over," Maya announced, her voice carrying through both conventional channels and quantum links. "But this isn't just a victory, it's a beginning." The quantum web slowly dissolved, but its effects remained. Every transformed defender had been changed by the experience, their powers and understanding grown beyond what even Kyra had thought possible. More importantly, humanity had proven itself not just worthy of the ancient knowledge they had been given, but capable of taking it in directions its original creators had never imagined. "What happens now?" Maria asked, her tactical mind already considering the implications of their victory. Kyra's form shimmered as she looked out at the stars that now seemed brighter, more alive, in the absence of the void's influence. "Now you take your place among the stars. Not just as defenders against the darkness, but as pioneers of a new way of existing. The power I gave you was just the beginning, what you've created here is something entirely new." Maya watched as the quantum sensors showed the last traces of the Void Hunters transforming into something else, not destroyed, but changed into forms that might, in time, contribute to the universe rather than seek to end it. Humanity had not just won a war, they had proven that even the darkest forces in existence could be transformed by the power of human consciousness and creativity. "We'll need to teach others," she said, thinking of the countless civilizations that might exist among the stars. "Share what we've learned, help them transform as we have." "Yes," Kyra agreed, her galaxies spinning with new light. "But you'll do it in your own way, as humans always have. My role as guardian is complete. Now I stand not as your teacher, but as your ally in whatever comes next." As the transformed defenders began the process of standing down Earth's defenses, Maya felt a new sensation through her enhanced senses, a universe that seemed somehow more alive, more connected, than ever before. Humanity had faced its greatest trial and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The legacy of the stars, it seemed, was not just about power or knowledge, but about the endless capacity for growth, change, and transformation that lay at the heart of human nature. And in that legacy, both humanity and the universe itself would never be the same.